Welcome back to my channel. My name is Dana, if you did not know already, and on this channel it is all about SMS Beauty, which is skincare, makeup, sunscreen, and today we're doing sunscreen. So I've had many requests from people about this brand, which is Naked Sundays. So I'm finally getting around to it. I did have to wait because this is their newest product and I just had to wait for it to come because it is made in Australia. So I was waiting for that and then I wanted to try it out, of course. So now I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna tell you my thoughts on all of these products. We're gonna just jump right in because there's not a whole ton to say besides that. And I just wanna get through all of these products as promptly and efficiently as I can. That doesn't make sense. Anyway, so like I just said, this is an Australian brand. That means that the prices are going to be a bit higher, at least in terms of shipping for sure. But I was looking at the website and I'm not sure if it is actually already showing me the US dollars or the Australian dollars, but they're kind of expensive. So I forgot how much they were. I was just looking at the last product, which is, or not the last, but the last one I was looking up. This is the Glow Mist and it's $39.95. So I forget I think that might be Australian dollars and I forget the conversion rate, but regardless, they're gonna be expensive if you're shipping them to America because you also have to pay shipping and it also takes a few weeks. So I just wanna put that out there. I'm not trying to say that this is like a drugstore brand or cheap or anything, but if you are really interested in these, this video is for you, or if you live somewhere where you can get them cheaply, or if you live in Australia, whatever. I don't know. I'm not telling you how to spend your money. That's all I'm saying. So let's get going because I've got some sunscreens to put on my face and, you know, just got to get on with this show. So as I do, I will put my hair up. Okay, the first one I have is the Collagen Glow Cream. I believe this is probably like their first one. I don't know. This retails for $34.95. It comes in 50 milliliters, which is also 1.7 fluid ounces, a very standard amount. And I was a little confused because on the back of it, the active ingredients say avobenzone, octisalate, octocrylene at kind of like standard percentages. So I was like, okay, this is just a standard organic or chemical sunscreen. But then you can like pull this little portion up, you know, where it has like the ingredients. And it has different ingredients, and also the website mentions different active ingredients. So they also include avobenzone and then another SPF, which is, I believe, just available outside of the US, not in the US, which is Usalux or 6300. If you're into active ingredients or sunscreen filters, maybe this applies to you, but for most of us, it's probably not the biggest deal. But it was interesting that they had a very different kind of like setup. I know a lot of times, if they've already printed all the packaging and labels and everything, they'll just kind of put the new ones on the website. But for this, it was, I'm not sure if this like peel off label is the new one or the old one, but they didn't necessarily line up. So I would say if that is something that like concerns you, just reach out to them and I'm sure they'll tell you. But for me, not a huge deal just because it is a chemical sunscreen and I don't have very sensitive skin. But let's go ahead, put it on, see what it looks like. Okay, so this is probably my favorite sunscreen of the four that I have. And I think they have maybe like a glow mist for your body and a lip gloss. I'm not really interested in those types of things, so I don't really review them, but you know, of course you can try them. But the reason that I do like this so much is it doesn't say that it's matte, and it isn't really matte, but it kind of is. So I really feel like it has more like a satin finish, which is just really nice because there's so many sunscreens out there and so many products in general that are just so glowy these days. And this does say Collagen Glow, but I think that's meant to be like the products in it are supposed to give you like a healthy skincare glow. I just like that it has this really natural finish. Like, I could just recommend this to somebody who doesn't like sunscreen and they would put it on and they wouldn't think twice. And I think that's a really great thing that kind of is like a little bit lost these days, just because I said there are so many glowy products. So this is not going to give you necessarily a glow for days, but again, I do love it. It's not scented, there's no cast, it's just so easy to put on. They do say it has their natural or vegan collagen, which is supposed to help with hydration and like plumpness. And then it also has watermelon extract, which is in all other products. And that is basically like vitamin A and vitamin C. So the products and the ingredients in it, or not the products, but the ingredients in it are pretty good. I wouldn't say that like they're spectacular, but again, like, don't go to your sunscreen for your skincare. This is my favorite one. I can throw it on, I can work out, nothing stings, my eyes don't burn. It's just a really, really easy sunscreen, but it's $34.95, so I don't think it's necessarily cheap. But I do think it is kind of a little bit unique for products these days. So if this is kind of the finish you're looking for, especially if you have more oily skin, this is a great one. And out of the four, I'm just gonna tell you right now, it's my favorite. But let's jump into the others and we'll see what they look like. Okay, next up we have the Collagen Glow 100% mineral sunscreen. So this one is our inorganic or mineral sunscreen, whereas the first one was our organic or chemical sunscreen. And I forgot to mention, they're both SPF 50, so very high SPF factors in all of these sunscreens, which is something I really love. This one is a bit more expensive. This is $39.95, whereas this one is $34.95. And you get the same amount, 50 milliliters or 1.7 fluid ounces. This one, like I said, mineral. It has 22.2% zinc oxide, which is absolutely fabulous. It's a great amount, and it has no scent. I can't necessarily tell you it has no cast, and I'm gonna show you, of course, but it is tinted in the sense that like it's not a pure white mineral sunscreen, which I don't know why anyone comes out with pure white sunscreens these days, or mineral sunscreens, but that's neither here nor there. I do think it might leave a cast on deeper skin tones, but I'm gonna show you in a second. So this one also has watermelon extract, which is kind of, I would say like maybe their hero ingredient in a lot of these, as well as the vegan collagen, again, another hero product or ingredient. But I don't think that the ingredients are such a standout, but they're also not detractors. This one says it has a unique blend of iron oxides, which eradicates any sign of white cast. Like, those are some bold words, especially in this day and age where there are some mineral sunscreens out there that really can do that. But I guess that's for everyone to decide depending on their own skin tone. I do like that this one says that it's water resistant for 80 minutes. That's really great. Or the other interesting thing about it is it comes with this brush. And I'm not sure if this one comes with a brush or this one, but I think it's really meant for the mineral. And they say that it's not meant to be like a tint or like really makeup-y, but that the brush helps you get like a flawless finish. So I have not used it as such. I've used it for like bronzer and makeup basically, but I don't know, because I feel like, is the brush just gonna soak up the sunscreen? Like, I want the sunscreen on my face. But what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna do half of my face with the brush and then half without, just because I'm gonna be washing this off to put on the next one, so it's not like I need the protection, but it's interesting. I don't know. Let me know what you think, because I just don't know about that. Also, they all come with this packaging where like this little hole is very big. It's not an issue with the mineral, but for the chemical one, it kind of means that it like just like splurts out. So that's just one thing that I've noticed, I guess to say. All right, let's apply. Also, this is a very thick formula. So for this side, I am gonna apply it with my hand and kind of smooth it out a little, but then I'm gonna use the brush to kind of do the rest of the work. This is beautiful. I'm impressed. Who knew? Who knew this brush would be so good? Okay, so that is the finish. It actually went on really well with the brush, and I'm pleasantly surprised by it. I do think that you would want to still spread it like I did, like with your fingers, and then kind of like the finishing part of it, use the brush, but pretty impressed. And also, I forget that I like this sunscreen because I just have so many that I can't use every single one all the time. But every time I use these products, especially these two, I'm like, oh, like I do like this a lot. And it is more invisible than I remembered it being. I thought like when I first applied it to my hand, it was kind of like one of those ones that looks good in small amounts, but then when you put the whole thing on your face, it doesn't look so great. But I do think that this is gonna work for more skin tones than some of your standard mineral sunscreens, which can be terrible. So again, very happy with it. I think both of these just have this finish that's so normal. Like so many mineral sunscreens can be so greasy and heavy, and this formula is heavier, but once it blends out, it doesn't feel heavy on the skin. It doesn't feel greasy. It doesn't feel like it's gonna just come like sweating off your face. It's one of those sunscreens, especially for me in the summer, I could actually wear, because in the summer I can't wear a ton of mineral sunscreens. So again, these two I'm gonna tell you are my favorite, and I reach for them more. This one I actually only have like that much left, which for somebody who owns as many sunscreens as I do, that's pretty amazing. All right, I'm gonna take this off my poor face, and we're gonna do one more and the mist. Okay, second to last, we have the Naked Sundays Clear Glow Radiant Sun Serum. This is SPF 50, comes in 50 milliliters, 1.7 fluid ounces. It actually comes in a 60 milliliter little like jar pumper. This is glass, because they say if they had it in a 50 milliliter one, it would like come out. So if you're wondering why it maybe looks like it doesn't have enough, it's a bigger bottle. But this one is another chemical sunscreen, and it has pretty standard filters in it. We have 10% homosalate, 3% avobenzone, and 5% octosalate. Okay, they say that this one is supposed to replace everything in the morning for you. It's gonna be like a one and done. So your serum, your moisturizer, what else? Primer, and your sunscreen. This is pretty new, I would say. Like I got it a few weeks ago and it just took a while to get out here. I did do a reel on this over on Instagram, and I did it using the 1/4 teaspoon method. So if you don't know, you're supposed to use about 1/4 teaspoon on your face and neck. Sometimes that can be really hard with certain sunscreens. So I'm not gonna do it today just because I know it didn't really work and I didn't like it. That's not to say that like I'm not getting enough protection. I think I'm still gonna be getting enough because I'm gonna use the 2 finger lengths, but it's just something to consider for some of these sunscreens that just kind of like really are meant to be applied a bit lighter. That doesn't always work. And if that's very important to you, which I understand, like it's important to me, I want the right protection, this just might not be the one for you. But this does say that it's supposed to dry down to a semi-matte kind of satin finish. When you use a lot of it, like the 1/4 teaspoon, I don't think it does. It also has a super, super silicone-y feel. Like once it's on my fingers, I feel like I can't get it off all day, even using soap, of course, like I'm gonna use soap. But if that's one of those things that like that feel just like, oof, gives you like the chills, this is not it. But it's very similar to kind of the Supergoop Unseen. I mean, it's a different texture, but it's the same idea. It's clear on every skin tone, which is super important. And it's just meant to replace all of your products. So that's also pretty great. In terms of ingredients, we have squalane, which is a super light and dry oil, which is great. I could understand why they would put that in here. Again, watermelon extract, vitamin A and vitamin C, kakadu plum, which is also one of the best kind of like natural sources of vitamin C. And then you have tomato extract, which is vitamin C and vitamin K. And then they also have jojoba oil in it, Jojoba oil is an interesting choice. I don't really know why they did that. Just because to me, jojoba oil is it's not as dry of an oil as say like the squalane. So it's gonna sit on your skin a bit longer. But what do I know? All right, enough talk. Let's put it on my face. Okay, that was kind of one finger length, and I honestly think that is kind of what they intended to put on, because to me, that's about as much as I would want to put on without it kind of feeling so silicone-y. It still feels very silicone-y, but I can see like it'll absorb, I think, at this rate. I'm going to put a little bit more on just because I can't not, but I'm just kind of putting it out there that I really don't think this one is kind of meant to be applied in the method that I use it. Now, I could be totally wrong, but I just don't love the feel of like a super like shiny, or not shiny, like slidey kind of face. Because to me, it feels like nothing is soaking in. Okay. In terms of application, it's probably the easiest, but it's just not my favorite texture. I don't like this feeling, and I think what it is it's really meant to be a primer. Like you put this on in the morning, then you put your makeup on, perfect, love it. I don't think I would ever wear this alone, just because I don't like that feeling that it's just gonna slide off my face. But if you're an avid makeup user, I think this is one of those ones that's just perfect because it really does cut down on all the steps. It's beautiful, it's easy. It just needs something on top of it. That's my opinion though. That's just my opinion. Sorry, I watch too many YouTube videos. Okay, so the last one I have is this Naked Sundays Hydrating Glow Mist SPF 50+. I don't really have a lot to say on it. I guess I will tell you the specs first. This retails for another whopping $39.95. So this one, did I tell you this is $49.95? So $50, at least what I think are US dollars. This one is pretty close, so $40. It does have 100 milliliters, which is like 3.3 fluid ounces. And it's pretty standard in terms of the filters. It's a chemical sunscreen. It has avobenzone at 3%, homosalate 10%, octosalate at 5%, and octocrylene at 8%. The problem and the reason I can't really review this for you is because when it came, I was able to spray it out a little. This is a spray, like you mist it on your face during the day, kind of like to touch up your sunscreen. The sprayer didn't work, and I reached out to them and they told me like to do a few things with the cap, that sometimes it malfunctions, but it still doesn't work. And then I did drop it, that's 100% on me. But like this being broken shouldn't make the whole thing not work. But like literally, I squeeze this down and it just dribbles down. So I can't review it. I can't tell you if it's good or not. It is highly fragranced, whereas none of the others have any fragrance whatsoever. They also don't have any eye sting. I don't know if I mentioned that, but it's a bit disappointing that I spent $40 and it doesn't work. They did tell me, I think they're having some issues, but my issue is that like, that doesn't help me. It still didn't work. So I can't really talk about it. But, out of these three, it kind of depends on what you want. I think they're all really great options for their category. So if you love something like this, you don't mind that silicone-y feel, like the slippy, slidey feel, this is actually one of the most beautiful ones. It just goes on so easily. It doesn't burn or itch. Like, it's just easy, but in a good way. And then these two, I think they're really, really beautiful options. I just think for people maybe in America or Canada, I'm not sure about Europe what the pricing would be. You're spending a lot of money for, it's not that, like, they can be duplicated. I think they're really, really beautiful, but I think if I looked and searched and thought hard enough, I could find alternatives. But the thing that I love about both of these is they do have a nice dry down and they don't look too glowy. Now, if you want glowy, maybe not the brand for you, but I like that because in the summer, it kind of appeals to me more when I already have a natural glow. So I can't say which one is my favorite, but I probably reach for the chemical more just because that's kind of like what I like. But I do think this mineral one is pretty spectacular as well. And I also got this cute little bag. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up now and I hope this helped and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.